Royer's living there. Well, I didn't know it until he had his accident.
I don't get notified on the Amish hotline.
We'll stand and do the pledge of allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll get started. Need a motion to approve the minutes from July 10th regular meeting.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Second.
Need a motion to approve the August docket, allowance docket.
I'll make a motion that we approve the dockets.
Second.
No questions.
No questions? You got those okay? Did you have any questions on the claims?
No.
I'm also going to give you each your copy of your finance detailed receipts for the lot, and you can sign acknowledging receipts of those. You also received in your packets your revenue report, appropriation report, fund report, and your bank statements, and receipt of those. Just a little bit of everything.
Seems like there's signatures in all
Sign stuff in there.
I'm getting a new patio, did I tell you?
I see.
Okay, last thing I have is Steve Pearson submitted 2 invoices after the docket was completed. One is for $25 for 546 East Main, the other's for $125 for the mowing at the water tower lot.
I need a motion.
Please.
I'll make a motion that we pay Steve Pearson for both properties.
Second.
Mr. Emerson's up.
Okay. We'll start with the Rice Alley closing.
Yeah, Barry Emerson, I represent Carol and Marilyn Rice. They're the owners of lots 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 in Elmer Britton's addition. I like for everybody to visualize it, so I kind of made copies. Where the alley's at, I kind of denoted in yellow. Oh, I've got to have one.
You can keep it. I went out and looked at it personally.
And we've spoken with Jerry concerning a utility easement. Apparently there's a water line that runs down that alley, and we have no objection to a utility easement that would be equal in size to the present dimension of the alley. The Rices don't have any plans of using that alley or that ground of the alley for a building on it or anything of that nature, but they do want it vacated. And of course, they recognize the town of Camden needs their utility easement also. So I think basically that they propose that it won't cause anybody to lack any ingress or egress, because they own all 4 lots that surround the vacated portion. And so we're respectfully requesting that it be vacated. Thank you.
I'll make a motion that we allow the Rices to vacate the alley, but give us an easement to fix the water if we need to.
Second.
Okay.
I do have a question about the easement. If you ever have to exercise that and you have to dig, who is responsible for putting grass back into that area?
We would be.
Pardon me?
We would be,
And you would do that?
yes. Yeah, I mean, if we disrupt it, yeah, we will, you know, repair it. That's just part of it. That's part of the, you know, if something happened, we have to fix it.
But it's be seated, right?
Yeah, just be safe.
Well,
Is that what you're asking?
we had quite an issue when you put that hydrant there, and so I just wanted to make sure that was,
Don't sit there like that, Pat.
I don't recall any issue.
I'm sorry.
well, there was.
I'm
There was
sorry.
an issue, so I just wanted to make sure that would be whose responsibility it would
We would
be.
seat it.
Okay, thank you.
Am I
We
right?
would seat it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we don't have an ordinance number, so I'll put that on and I'll get it to you.
So is that all we need on that, that's vacated then? Okay.
And I'll,
I passed out all my copies, can I get a copy?
Yep. I got a picture.
Here you go.
I'll give you a copy of that. All of that.
Here's the ordinance.
Copy of the ordinance signed, because I know you're gonna keep it, and you're gonna report, or you're gonna send it to me for.
but I will get you an ordinance number. So can I keep both copies and then send you one after the
Yes.
ordinance number on it? Okay.
Pat's very efficient. I don't know what you people
There you
are
go.
doing without her.
They will find out coming
They will
up.
find out.
Oh, they are?
Yes, they will.
Well, you're not old enough to retire.
I know, I've taken an early retirement.
Oh, yes, she is.
When? You can't retire at 55.
Yes, I will, but it's nice of you to think that.
Were you advanced or something? If she's only 55, were you in advanced education?
Yes.
You told me you graduated.
Yes.
Not right.
Yeah, we graduated
We do.
in 1969.
Okay. All right, Jerry, you're up.
Okay. First I've got is, Peerless did finish the, replacing the one well pump, and it's back in service. We'll wait on the, guys from the tower to get done painting, and, then we'll probably contact them and let them know to go ahead and proceed on the, cleaning the other well.
Carol, I'll be back.
And then, of course, I did contact the, other people on the generators for price, and, Cleaner Generator Company, and they were $702 higher than what our existing contract is. So, and I presume you did get paperwork on that too. You've got no more paperwork from Buckeye, correct?
I have the generator papers from Buckeye, I have nothing from the other company.
Well, I've got the paperwork from the other company, and it was $2437.75 for all three generators for the year. And the last paperwork I had on Buckeye was $1735. And is that what you've got? Because you've got paperwork since I have, I think, on that.
Mine stayed at April 11th,
That's the same thing I've got then.
1735, yes.
So Buckeye's our current one at 1735 is the lowest.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to make a motion to accept Buckeye's bid, or?
Yes, you do.
Okay, I'll make a motion. Is that okay, Jerry? Is that what you want?
Yeah, that's-
Back to Buckeye?
I don't know who else to contact. I wouldn't have an idea.
Okay,
You did good.
I'll, make a motion that we allow Buckeye to service our generators for the upcoming year.
Second.
Is that just good for 1 year?
I'm checking that. I thought it was, but I want to check.
I'll get a hold
Yeah.
of Leo.
Oh, wait, no, it's 3 years.
2 years, okay.
It is 3
I
years.
think it's a 3-year contract that he locks us in at 1735.
That's fine. In 3 years, we'll entertain it again.
Okay, I will let them know because they have called it asking about that. If we could step back a minute to the water tower, to do the painting, the extra painting on that, it is $8,167. If you're gonna move forward with that, I do need to have a motion on that too.
I'll make a motion that we, allow the paint company to do the additional work for the sum of $8,167.
Second.
Okay. Do you wanna talk to them about that?
Yes.
Okay.
That's all I've got at
You
this
got
point.
they're on our thing here, you got the snow plow. Is that the one that's leaning forward that won't spring
Yeah.
back?
Yeah,
Did you find the parts to spring it back, or does,
well, you guys kinda tabled it, and you told, you didn't know whether, I didn't know whether you guys wanted to look at repairing it or replacing it.
is it just the spring back mechanism? It's leaning
Yeah, I
forward
don't
now,
remember
right?
what it was, was thinking it was around $1,200.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking it wasn't, but I've slept since then.
What's
That's
that
the one
had
we're
to.
talking.
What's that new one run?
Depends on what you get.
Yeah.
I mean, compatible to what you have now, comparable?
I don't have a clue.
Six, 8, maybe.
Why don't we look and see what we come up with for a new one and repair costs for sure, and what we're,
I got a guy that does he runs or he has Boss, like the other one we got.
right?
He's got the dealership over in Kokomo, and I know him pretty good. And he told me back when we were talking about it, he said, hey, wait until after July, because then the price, you get a spring
Why don't
price.
we reach out to him?
I'll get a hold of him if you want me to. And I'll get the specs from you tomorrow on what you're thinking about.
Actually, the one I think on the pickup truck is wider than the one on the dump truck.
Really?
I think it is.
Yeah, because you got the wings on them that swing in and
Sticks out.
swing out.
Okay.
And see, with the swinging in, but when you swing it out or pivot, you're wider.
So just reach out and come up with a price for us, and then okay, we'll do that.
Okay, and then what were you gonna do about the lawnmower?
Well, we can't open it, so we don't know what they were gonna do. I mean, we're just starting to look at options. I mean, you know,
It's
we
about time to quit.
contact Kubota. We can contact Kubota and Logan and New Holland. But if we're looking to encumber money, we still got months to get that done, right?
Yeah, we do. If it's like last year, you can encumber up to December 15th or so. and they can-
Which is what we did for the truck.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So you have nothing else, you said?
That's all I've got this time.
All right.
Do you think a rear deck mower would work okay down there, Jerry, or do you think that mid-mount works better?
I think your mid-mount, because you can actually see what you're
What
doing
you're
right here.
doing.
You mow right up against the building and different, you know,
Okay.
you got some outside plumbing and stuff you mowing around. I think the mid-mount would be better, I think.
Out of curiosity, what was the problem with their fire hydrant? Because I really don't have any idea what their problem was.
When you,
Oh, I don't know. I
when
don't
we
have a
went,
clue.
well, probably when you went down there and put that fire hydrant in there, whoever did it probably left the dirt a mess around
Well,
it.
you gotta let it settle. You
Well,
know, there's no use
yeah.
leveling it out and then coming back 3 months later and putting dirt back in.
I don't know.
That's
I
probably
don't
what,
know.
that's
I don't
probably
have
what
a
happened.
Okay.
You know.
Probably what happened.
Anyway.
Okay,
All right, police report. We had 10 calls for service, 4 assisting other agencies, 3 traffic contacts, ordinance violations, 2 animal complaints, and 1 golf cart permit. But they were pretty busy this month.
I'd like to thank Jill and Steve for taking care of this back here staying on top of,
Yeah.
back here, it's starting to look a little better. And
Starting to, I don't know what they're gonna do with the mattresses in there.
well, they got, well, we'll see if Central.
You know the trash won't pick them up. That's gonna be a never-ending battle, but they are doing a very good job keeping up with it. All right, clerk treasurer, you're up.
Okay, you've got a copy of the 2020 budget. The
Yes.
front page is called Form 3 is what is advertised. We just advertise that on the DLGF website now, it's not actually put in the paper. You can look at Form 1, which has your expenses that's projected for next year. We did add a little extra money in case you wanted to do something with buildings, you've got something there. It was mentioned at one of the meetings that I was at that things have been good for the past few years, but you really need to start building up your rainy day just in the event that the economy does take a downturn. So I did set your rainy day budget rather modestly, but if you need something, you can always do an additional appropriation. You've got funds, you can do an additional appropriation. It's not a problem, but you should be okay. Nothing out of the ordinary for anything that's in here. On the side of your page, I did write down what this year's budget was, so you could do a little comparison if you were interested. When you do look at the general fund, the Coombs sewer, and the Coombs capital development, you do have a line for property tax caps. That's not actually a budgeted item, but they put it in there so that you will be able to know how much you're going to lose because of it, and you do make a calculation to allow for that. So when you look at your total for the general fund and you look at your advertised total, you will find that they're not the same level, but they're not the same because the property tax caps are in there. So if you see a variance, you know what that's all about. The only thing, law enforcement continuing ed is again a very small budget because that just doesn't have much money and it doesn't have much revenue in a year's time. So you just don't have much you can spend.
They only get revenue from the golf carts, is that it?
Golf carts and gun permits is your big things. VIN checks, but that's only like $5. The golf carts are $25. I'm not sure we've done a gun permit this year. Maybe one. Maybe one gun permit.
I think you only had like 2 golf carts on the revenue, $50. I saw she just done another one, $75. So 3 golf carts in town's all.
That's
Mine's
all.
up in September, so. They want it in
Yeah.
September.
So that's not a big item, but you just do want to watch that you don't go over. We have not had any dues request yet from Economic Development. If she gets us something, then we can go ahead and get all the dues paid.
Yeah. Well, nobody in the county has it, I don't
No,
think.
they have not. So that is something that might end up being carried over to 2020. I don't know, because we don't know what's going on there. Other than that, I think it's all, motor vehicle highway. You will see I've got a note over here to the side. Motor vehicle highway, your street budget. Okay? They have Fund 201, motor vehicle highway, 203, restricted use. Half of the money that you get in your motor vehicle tax has to be put over into your 203. That money has to be spent as outlined in the information
Right,
I've
on
given
street
you.
repairs and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, but it's very specific,
I know.
so watch that one. But in this budget, it's all shown in the 201. When I set the budget up for 2020, I will split it out. It will all balance back to the 201 budget.
We'll have to really look at what can be used for.
You will
because-
need to, because if
You've
you
got all the
don't,
streets.
that will be an audited point,
Right.
okay? I don't think there's anything else. If you look at it, you have any questions, you can get back with me on that one.
Yeah, we'll have to definitely watch a guideline on what we can use that for because that's gonna be an issue. That's
Right,
gonna be there on your streets.
And you do have to expend that money.
Right, it
You
has
don't
to be
have-
spent.
Yeah, you don't have to do it all in one year, but you do have to expend that money. It can't be kept back.
Randy, you can't carry it over into something right now.
No, you do have to spend it. Income survey was finished, it came back 53.3%, I believe it was. So that means you do qualify if in the next 4, actually I think it's good for 5 years. If you want to apply for any Okra grants or income-based grants, your income survey is done, you're good to go. The next thing I have is the ISI work. I had one person that was ready to go ahead and release retainage. I had somebody else that wanted to wait till October, so I need to know how we want to do with the retainage on ISI. October, they will be back to take care of the grass and the riser and that kind of stuff.
You're talking about the sewage project.
I thought they planned to do grass seed, they did not.
They did, but after they did it, we got about a 3-inch rain. And
They
it's
always
back.
come back to say and touch it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, I have no problem giving their retainage, it's just that they were coming back October 1st, so I told Pat, I said, well, why don't we wait until October 1st to give them their retainage?
Yeah, let me make sure it's done.
Because as far as I know, they haven't dropped the riser behind the
No.
church, and they haven't paid for Uncle Bill's sidewalk yet. So, you know, I'm sure they're good for it, I just don't wanna,
Well, it's bad business to pay.
yeah,
for
I don't
it.
wanna have any, I don't wanna be the one, you know.
No. But let's wait till October and
Is that okay with the
Well,
grant?
I did
administrator?
email our grant administrator to be sure we can hold it till
Okay.
October.
See if,
If there's an
or
issue.
hold part of it or something. I mean, because I don't think they would. That's just bad business. Pay somebody and then
It is.
what makes them want to
But
come
when
back?
we pay it, then we can proceed with closing out the grant.
Right.
But I'm
We'll
double
find
checking
out
with her
if
to
what
make
we
sure
can hold
our
till
time is
October
good.
and move from there.
Okay.
Okay.
And, let's see, where do I put that at? Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's it for me. Do I have something else? Anything? You guys
No.
have any questions for me?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
No.
Did Toby come and see you about the community building? I talked to him, so
Okay.
told him to get with you or Jerry about the fixing the eaves or whatever you said was bad.
Yeah, there were the dumpsters, the eaves.
Somebody sent me an email or a text
I did.
about, so I got a hold of him
No.
Okay. Well, we'll see if we can get a hold of him if he'll fix the
and
eaves.
he's aware of it though.
And
Okay.
that brings us into the next, there's paint coming off in pieces and painters were here and they said they could touch up the side of the building, scrape off the paint that's coming off and then paint the awning and the restrooms, which we didn't have figured in the first one for, what was it, $23.50, is that right? $23.50, we gotta get approval for that, I guess, to get that done. I don't know if you've seen the floor in the community building, what they did in the walls, but it looks really nice.
It's a lot lighter.
They got one of those spots finished in the floor in there.
Oh, the walkway?
Yeah, right there where the restroom is.
Yeah,
Are the restrooms needing painting or?
yeah, well, to match everything else.
My restrooms at home don't match the rest of my house.
Your wife wants it that way.
So that's on the thing, you got all taken care of, finished up?
Do you need a motion for that or?
Yes.
Yes.
Make a motion that we proceed with the painting the awnings at the med center, paint the restrooms in the community building, repair and the repairs in the community building for $23.50.
Do you want to contact him?
I can contact him. I reached out to 2 different masons for the Bedford stone in the corner that I think we've all seen it, you've seen it. Had a guy that was supposed to come yesterday, did not show up. Had another guy refuse, so we're still on hold on that one. The replace trees around town, just, what do you want to do with that? Just get that off old business?
If you want to proceed with it, I'll get the guy to come up here and do an inventory.
Well, he's supposed to, I don't know how long the inventory will be good for, but Ken told me that the grant is up September the 3rd, is when you gotta apply for the grant for this time around. And then he said it comes back around again in April. But I don't know if, what I mentioned to Pat was, I don't know if, you know, it's a 50-50 grant, you know. So if we spend $2,000, we get $2,000. With the headache of going around and giving them, if you had to do a tree inventory of Main Street where you were gonna put the trees, that's one thing, but you gotta do the whole town. And I don't know what,
But when they say the whole town, does that just mean the easement areas? or-
yeah, the incorporated town easement areas. So they'd have to do all that. So
So
what,
what is that, just to the sidewalks?
yeah, back, what do you do, take, Jerry, like 10 foot off the road, what's considered our trees and their trees?
Whatever the right of way is, you know.
Straight to the
Street
sidewalk.
plus right of way. That's what we usually cover. I mean, if we do got a map in there and I go check out. But all you can do really, unless you know exactly where the property line stops and starts, all you can do is just be fair with the property owner. And you can just, if it says it's 40 foot and you got a 20-foot street, you go out to the center and measure over 20 feet, both directions, and yes, it is, yes, no, it's not. You know, if it's kind of questionable and it looks like it's half in, half out, yeah, we just pretty much just go ahead and take care of it, you know.
Is there a form you have to have, or it's just an actual spreadsheet of the trees, or what do you need?
I don't know what a tree inventory would look like, I've never
That's what I
seen
mean.
one.
So I don't know if they might be able to get it done, like if you could talk to them, they could get it done, then we could apply in the springtime. Or would it be just about as easy to go out here to Robeson's Tree Farm and spade up 20 and,
Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't even have an idea what
for an inch and a half tree, you know, which is about what you want. About an inch and a half tree, you're looking at, she'd probably let you have them for, I don't know, if she's got several of them, maybe 150, 200 a piece, you know, so you're looking at, you know.
We do have a tree ordinance that says what kind of trees we can put out there. So we want to make sure that we.
So where you guys want to
That
put
ash
it?
probably wouldn't be a good one.
Along Main Street
Yeah.
or what? Yeah.
Along Main Street where we've been cutting them all down and we
Yeah.
don't have trees left.
You gotta think about people being able to see pull out on the roads. too.
Yeah,
Plus,
there's
you know,
setback,
you've got
some,
utilities in.
there's
certain
setback
spots
so
you don't
many
wanna plant
feet
it.
from the thing and so many feet back the other way and, yeah, the easement's pretty. But I've talked to a few people, Joe Wallace would like to have one, and, the Baptist Church would like to have a couple, and I just, you know, went down by and visited, and,
I had to plant my own tree.
well, I know, but it's in your yard.
Okay, point representative to the EDC.
Again,
Thing right now. Haven't heard anybody that's interested. No news on the EDC contract either. I forgot to talk to Chris about that camera. You ever see him anymore? I'll try to remember to call him. Property at 546 East Main goes up for tax sale.
Is that the Richardson property?
yeah,
Are
That's the
we,
one that we wrote to the
do we have this sewage?
public health about. And my question is, do you just want to let that go until you see who buys it at the tax sale, or what they plan on doing, or what do you want to do about that? Now, if it goes to a tax sale, it'll be a year before it can be final, you know.
Yeah.
If they have, the other side, Tiara has a year to redeem it, which she probably won't, but, you know, since she's let it go.
My question was, from the Board of Health, the question there is, does the Camden want to tear it down? Does that mean that they would pay for that, or they just asking us, we'd like to see it removed, or she wants saying, does Camden want to pay to tear it down?
I read it both ways.
It wasn't very clear the way she wrote the letter.
Yeah, I read it both ways too. I don't want to pay to tear it down, but she asked me.
That's
to
what
do
my
one.
question's been all along, is who's responsible for a house that's condemned or uninhabitable? Who's responsible for making sure that it's removed?
if nobody buys it on the tax sale, then what happens?
Right.
Well,
Where's the
But
fault?
I talked to the guy that lives to the east of the property, and he told me he'd be very interested in acquiring the property, but he don't know how a tax sale works, and I told him that, you know, right now it's $6,140 is what's owed on taxes on it. And $4,000 of that's a sewer lien. around 4,000, right, Pat?
Probably when
Around 4,000 of it. And I said something to him about maybe the town would forgive the sewer lien, because she's never came in, she ain't lived there for 6 months, and she ain't ever came in and told the town she moved out, so Pat's cracking her $75 every month. So it's just acquiring. So what I asked him, I said, you know, I'll talk to the board and the town and Pat and Ann and see if we could forgive the sewage lien to where then he would be like $2,000 to get the property, which would be the taxes, and then he wants to tear the house down and build a garage.
But never put a sewer in.
But it would stay on the tax roll, you know what I mean?
I guess I feel I should answer this letter in some fashion, you know, so, you don't have to do it today or tomorrow though, so you can think about what you want me to.
When's the tax sale?
When is the tax sale set for?
October the 12th,
Probably, when is the tax sale set for? Probably September.
I think October, or no, September.
Generally,
September
they're
19th.
Generally, they're in September. late
It's in the paper, I gave the paper, I meant to keep that. But, and it states in there that like if there's $6,100, they have to pay all that.
See, the
Does
only
that
thing,
include the sewer lien?
Yes.
Okay.
the only question I have is if you've told him that, then you gotta make it public to everybody, so when they bid on that, if they're interested, that we
Right.
would forgive the sewage thing, and I think it could put us in a bind there.
Well, can we forgive it?
That's
the
what I'm
first
wondering.
Yeah,
one.
that's what I was asking Ann, if can we forgive it?
And why would we? I mean, if he's wanting it that bad, he would buy it, I mean, the property's.
No, he ain't, that was part of his thing. He's gonna be $6,000 in, and all he's got's a house, now he's got a $10,000 house he's gotta tear down. Now he's got a $16,000 lot
$10,000 house, what do you mean by that?
to tear it down. It'd take about $10,000 to tear that down.
Steady wind would blow that thing down.
The matches are free.
Yeah, well,
So, and can the town forgive a sewer
Yes,
lien?
the town can do anything it wants to with that. You asked me if the town could forgive the sewer lien, but not the cost, but you either do the whole thing or not at all.
Okay,
Either way.
Okay.
I don't know why the town wants to, but on the other hand, if that's a matter of getting it sold or something, maybe, yes, the town has the ability to do that. I called you a couple of times, but you were out this week, so
I was out, yes.
Cause I think you got one buyer
I
and one
thought
buyer
I'd just
only.
see you tonight and
Okay, that was fine, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we forgive something like that, though, we need to have some kind of something in writing that he's gonna tear it down.
Yeah,
In a certain amount of time.
and that's what I told him. I said there would be stipulations if,
Yeah,
and I just seen him sitting out there. And
yeah.
I know he was interested in it, and he fought them Richardsons tooth and nail
I
down
know
there,
he's been
so.
here several
Yeah.
times, but what I'm saying is.
So I just said something to him, I said, hey, right now it's $6,000 at a tax sale, and he goes, ooh, and then I explained, you know,
So
maybe
they've never paid sewage ever? I mean, it's added up $75 a month for,
last
Oh,
time,
I put liens on it, and
I know,
when
but I mean,
somebody
that's
when
been
somebody
years.
pays the taxes,
it's never been paid monthly, it's always when the taxes come.
and they had their own wells, why they were just paying sewer?
Yeah,
I think we brought, what, 2 houses?
none, one now.
Just this one?
Yeah,
was a
because the other one's off, right, Jerry? Spangler's was the other one that went off.
Yeah, they hooked up with town water.
Yeah.
And if we have an ordinance that if that house changes ownership, they have to go on town water if they keep it as a home.
right, cause it's the last one that's not hooked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much would a tax sale be without, what did you say the total was, 8,000?
No, it's 6,100 and some change.
So it's just $100 to buy the property, is what you're saying?
No, it's 6,100.
Well, I said, like you said, the sewers was 6,000.
The sewer's 4,
Oh, 4,000.
so taxes are 2.
Okay.
So what I was getting at is if we forgave the sewer loan, he'd be 2,000 in, then by the time he tore it down, then he's, you know. And he told me, he said he'd love to have a garage here, and he said if he did it, he would tear the house down, so. You know.
Yeah, I agree, it's an eyesore.
Mosquito spray, we're about done with the season for that.
So how is Ann to respond to this letter?
I don't know, I didn't respond to that letter. What did it say? What are they asking? Are they asking if we want it tore down, or are they asking if, you read it both ways.
Well, my choice is to wait until after the tax sale, see what, if it sells, I guess.
Find out who buys it and see. Can't say see who buys it.
I think, gosh, I don't know. I mean, there's so many different scenarios can happen. If someone would go ahead and buy it and want to try to move into it, you know.
Well, nobody's gonna move into it. The last time I went to look about buying it, cause I was gonna get it and extend the yard over. The bad thing about it is, she was still living there, and if I'd have paid the taxes and the sewer lien, and she lived there another year, cause she didn't have to get out for a year, then I owed a sewer lien for another year on her. And that's what pushed me, well, I was like, I ain't doing
It's still that way. They still have to wait a year.
Yeah, but you can shut the sewer lien off.
To stop charging her.
Yeah.
And I would stop charging her. And then if she comes back in, I could start again. But I can't make a decision not to charge her on my own.
Yeah, I mean, why stop if she didn't shut it off?
And the thing of this is, she could go back in there and the water's still turned on, and she, you know, as long as there's electricity there, she can.
I can't believe there's $2,000 in taxes on it.
It might not be quite that much, but
It's might never been paid.
there's probably no mortgage liens. Well, yeah, it was paid last year.
No?
Yeah. Wasn't it? Was it last year, the year before?
I think the year before.
Yeah, the year before.
Are you gonna see problems though if you leave the water on there this
There's no
winter with
water.
no heat?
There's no water. It's
Okay.
well.
It's a well.
Oh, that's right, cause I was gonna say, I could see
Yeah,
it
that's why it's the
freezing and
last
causing
town.
bigger
It's the only
problems.
town house in town not hooked up.
Believe me, a water leak in there ain't gonna matter much. You wouldn't even notice it, Kevin.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 windows over there.
Yeah, I noticed, Jared, I've noticed.
You wouldn't even
I've
notice.
seen a few little
A
skylights
small-
in the thing
A
too.
small water leak, you wouldn't even notice.
All right.
Okay, so just.
So I don't know what you want to respond with.
I would say respond.
Wait till we find out who-
You know, after the tax sale is my choice. I mean, it's up to these two.
That's fine.
I agree. Let's wait and find out who does what for the tax sale, and then we'll. Because they know what they're getting into right now. I mean,
I don't think, I mean, even if we responded, go ahead and rule it uninhabitable, they're still up in the air who's responsible for tearing it down. It's going up for tax sale in a month.
and no matter who buys it, you still got to wait another year before they can do anything. I think, right?
Well, that's on a tax sale.
Right.
I think if the town were to say the town is going to tear it down, then we would put a lien on for the destruction of the property.
Yeah,
And then when the person pays and gets the lot, they have all that.
we would be out that money for a long time, I think. It'd be hard to sell that lot too, probably.
Yeah, you'd be getting some money tied up in it.
Yeah. So I think we're just safe to wait till after September. It's only a month. What's another month now?
See what happens.
Okay, so you good with that, Ann?
Mm-hmm.
And if something happens that he does go and buy it, then
I
he
made
can
some
come
notes here, maybe.
beg for,
Okay.
you know. Because the way it sets right now, he has to, we cannot forgive the thing. He has to go down and pay the $6,000,
Right.
and then we can do something for
I'd
him.
rather, I mean, just personally, I'd like to see us meet him halfway. Do something where we still recoup some of our money and we help him out too, so.
But when he pays at the tax sale, he's paid the county.
Yeah,
It doesn't
we-
come to, I get a check from the county.
Right, I know.
Okay.
But all what I'm saying is, I mean, we could, I don't know how we would do that.
I don't know either.
Does anybody know where Tiara Richardson is now? Do we have an address on her?
I got an idea.
Last I heard,
I
she
don't
went
know,
to
it was,
Kentucky.
Well, she's been
Right
down
over the
over
hill.
They left.
What I
they
thought
left
would be-
there
back.
too.
Oh,
It would speed things up if we could get her to give a quick claim deed,
enough with her.
you know, to the property.
She ain't gonna do anything to benefit anybody, you know. She's got her heels dug in and. That'd be my guess.
Where do you wanna approach her? Or
Okay,
just let it go?
I ain't approaching her. I've
No, I meant
approached
that.
her a couple times, and she's ate me up.
And then have
Send
it
to the
sent
marshal.
in
What would a quick claim deed do? Over to the town, you're saying, or? A quick claim
A
deed?
quick claim deed to the, whoever the purchaser is.
oh, that would know the year, wait the year
Yeah,
out,
not, then that way.
They would still have to
Clean
pay the taxes. And
but they wouldn't have to wait the year.
Gotcha.
She would have given up all her interest in it, you know, and consented to him purchasing it and doing whatever he wanted to with it.
And does it make any difference that it might still be in Donald's name and not hers?
Well, no.
It says Patricia
How
on
you
the
do that,
taxes.
you do that with an affidavit that he died, and it's like Bill and me. I've never done anything, but if I were selling something, I'd say, Bill, it was previously owned by Bill and Ann, but he died such and such, and it's the easy way to do it.
Okay.
It's in her
Take the
name
easy
on the
way all
paper,
the
so.
time.
Is it-
That's the smart way.
No need to do it hard.
You learn anything, Hudson?
No. Darn it.
Motion to adjourn, that's it?
Not yet.
Oh. What do you want?
Where we at with the sewer spray, Jerry?
There ain't nothing on page 2.
The other is
Same thing.
Anything on mosquitoes, that's right.
mosquitoes.
I
Okay.
just gotta get him sent in.
Property on tax sale, we talked about replacing the town tractor, not a lot we can do
Okay.
yet. We're just looking at getting some estimates.
It doesn't have to be green either.
No,
Hey,
I-
I'll get you an estimate for a coyote too.
I could care less.
Cause the guy that sells, the snow blade sells mowers and stuff.
it's up
too,
there where they sell versatile and,
New Holland.
yeah.
You got New Holland, you got Kubota, you got John Deere, you got Coyote.
We'll get some estimates, we'll get some numbers, we'll see what we can do. Lyndall Stapleton had talked to me earlier this month about trying to get some new flooring for the med center, carpet in the waiting room area, entryway, and then the hallway back there, but the room she wanted linoleum and wanted to know if that would be an option. I told her we would probably wait till January when we get the new funds, but it's something we can start thinking about to upgrade the med center, some things.
What kind of money have we got, Pat, that we can throw towards carpet and linoleum?
We can easily do 13,000, but I can move some more money in there if I need to.
Who lays carpet, Mark? You?
Would be carpet and
Gordon better.
they do really good work, but they were so slow.
Well, we're not in a hurry right now either.
My wife's into hardwood now instead of carpet. So
Yeah, and that's what. Oh,
that's,
I
my knees
have
still
those.
hurt.
So that's something that's gonna be coming on the radar, something to talk about, think about.
Okay.
Do you want to start getting any quotes?
That's up to these guys. Do you want to start reaching out, or do you want to wait a little longer? Or?
let's reach out. If we got 13 grand, we might as well reach out and. I mean, because that front lobby over there looks, not so great.
Well, Dr. Anderson's exam room looks really bad too. His room did not get painted, by the way.
I know, I just saw that when I was in there the other day. So we'll fix that.
Tractor pull this weekend?
Garden tractor.
Garden tractor?
Saturday night, Lions Club garden tractor pull.
And man ball games. Here comes the payment company for 218 tomorrow.
You gonna read this? Or?
Yeah. Filing to run November election is now closed. 2 people running for the office of clerk treasurer, Jeff Seaver, Renee Briesno. Council members have all signed up to fill another term. And that's all I got.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second. Comment. Glad to see you, Jeff.
Speech.
Nice to see you again.
Just for